All right, welcome back to Becoming a Gunsmith. My name is Griffin, and I'm with Dakota Guns. Today we're going to talk about sanding, but before I do that, I got a package in the mail from Houston Gun Holsters, and I would say that I'm going to do an unboxing, but it came in a bag. I already took it out of the bag, so I'm just going to do a reveal of what they sent me. I don't represent them. I don't get paid to show their products. But I thought it'd be a nice way of starting out today. This is what I got. Got a little holster. It shows on the back. This one's for a Glock 26, Shield 9 and 40, XDS 9, Ruger LC 9s, EC 9s, PPS. There is a few more. This one's a right hand holster. It has a place to tear it, but it looks like I can just do this for some weird reason. So this is the holster. Nylon. Nice felt on the inside, or I don't know. I'm not a holster maker. It has a nice cushion on the inside so it's not scratching up your firearm every time you put it in and pull it out. Different ways to wear it on your belt, or you can have a clip. I assume for inside and then external, which would make sense. Some other things that they sell: cases, drop leg holsters, something for your bag, holster for your bag. You can check them out. They're part of the NRA, it looks like. Check them out online at www.houstongunholsters.com out of Florida. There it is right there. I'll send you a picture of it. I'll have it up. And then they sent this. Not sure what this is. Keychain thing, maybe? Pen. The important thing about pen for gun, guys, blue. I'd like to have a blue pen. That's just me. This one's black. Black ink. It's alright. Nice pen. Writes nice. I like blue because I always lose my blue pens. They're a little calling card here. And magazine. If you guys use Houston gun holsters, let me know what you think in the comments. That'd be nice. We'll show and tell here. There are different types of holsters here. We got. That is it. No prices. That's what. Soft interior lining made with eco leather. Not sure if that's water resistant or what. I'm sure you might have to put some kind of a water resistant oil on it. Good for smooth draws. Heavy duty metal clips. That's it. Wow, I'm with Dakota Guns. Today we're going to talk about sanding. We're going to continue on this firearm stock right here. Remember, we glued up the cracks, fixed this internal one that goes this crack that goes all the way through by drilling the hole and putting a threaded rod in it. Check out my other videos if you're brand new listening or watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And I haven't received any questions yet, so it's kind of hard to answer questions at the end of each episode unless I have questions. So if you have a question, let me know. If you're my military buddies, please ask me nicer questions. So I have had questions. It's just from my military friends. They they have some interesting questions. Okay, sanding. Grab some tape. I marked one side as wet. I'm going to do a wet sand on one side, and I'm going to do a dry sand on the other. You don't have to wet sand. I like wet sanding. What it does is it fills in all the pores, makes it look nicer, cleaner when you're done. Another thing you got to be careful of is lines. You want to make sure that all your edges are nice and crisp. All your line work is nice, not rounded. More professional when you can do it that way. If you can't do it that way, I suggest that you practice. Blocks help. I have this little block, different widths, and that helps me keep all my lines straight. Get into different areas. Sandpaper. I use wet and dry. I don't really think it matters if you have wet or dry sandpaper. I think I've used just dry sandpaper and I've wetted it before. It works fine. I'm going to start with 220. I always have it in a stack like this. So grab my 220, sand, flip it up, 400, sand, flip it up, 600. Then I usually grab around the 8s and then the 1000s, but I'm going to be jumping into my 1500 because I ran out of my 8s and 1000s. And then I'm going to end with a 2000, which I think is probably overkill, but whatever. And then you stack them all like that, and you can always just flip them right back over and restart if you need to. All right, next thing we're going to need is some water and a heat gun. The water, when you spray it down, it pulls the little tiny fibers up, kind of like when you're shaving. And then you cut the fibers off. But what you can't just spray it down and then sand. You gotta spray it down, let it dry, or use a heat gun. And that raises the fibers up. Okay, I know you probably can't see it. But there is definitely a feel. Maybe you can. Here's the wet side. Here's the dry sanding side. And I don't know what happened. Right here was either, well, I do know what happened. This, even though it's smooth, I must have cut it on a corner. And that's okay, because accidents happen. And this is not the worst thing I've done to a firearm. I've actually started one on fire. So, all right, welcome back. I finished sanding and then I got called away, came back, and then did my final sanding. And what I did was I just went back through the grits, but this time I'd wet it, I'd dry it, and then I would sand it. I wasn't really doing a full wet sand. And then when I got down up to my last two, or down to my last two, which is the 1500 and the 2000 grit, I crisscross. So what that means is I went against the grain and then with the grain, just to cut the fibers a little bit more and get a nice tighter finish. And then I went back and I did it twice, and then I wet it again, dry it, and then I finished with the grain. Therefore, you won't see any of my cross cuts. And it looks pretty good, nice and smooth. I could keep going, and the stock will start to shine, and it'll really feel like you're just feels like glass. Pretty simple. Kept all my lines nice and straight, all my angles. Takes time and practice to do that. That's sanding for you. All right.